too late.
You passed that point a long time ago.
A long time ago.
Just perpetuating lies and deception.
Standard operating procedure. That's all they do.
And you thought that you'd be safe in your tower. Insulated from the people below. But the truth has undermined your foundation.
Truth always wins.
So many people now in the know.
Yeah, people figuring it out.
You thought that you'd see the day that you could just get away from the ones you betrayed who raised their voices to say,
Ain't gonna happen. You won't be trusted anymore. All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you're situated on this great, big, beautiful blue globe, floating through the void of Yah's creation, TGIF. It's Friday, the 19th of December, 2025, and as always, yours truly holding the media's feet to the fire because they lie, they manipulate, they gaslight, they propagandize, and they just can't seem to tell the truth. Anyway, hi. Welcome to the WTF Reports. I'm your host, Dave vonKleist. I'm here, WTF, with the facts. And if the facts make you exclaim WTF, well, then so be it. All right, where do we start? Today is a big day. Yeah, it's the 19th of December, and they've been screaming that, yeah, this is the time that they're going to release the Epstein files. Yeah, I believe that as far as I could throw a Greyhound bus. And then, of course, this is the day that AI Atlas is closest to the Earth. So there's a lot of stuff going on about that. We don't know, what's real and what isn't real because they could be setting up Operation Bluebeam. This could be, some people are saying this could be an extraterrestrial intelligent comet or something. If it is, it would obviously have some sort of technology that we would have absolutely no clue whatsoever how it works. But right off the bat, before we even get started, I want to find out, did you pass the test? Yeah, the test. The test that we were all given about 5 years ago when they rolled out the hokey pokey thingy dingy. Yeah, you remember that? How many people failed the test? A lot of them. Yeah, they just went right along. You got to go along to get along, I'm proud to be an American where I get to think I'm free. Yeah, land of the free, home of the brave. Well, guess what? You will never be the land of the free as long as you are not the home of the brave. And apparently there's not enough brave people out there to stand up and say no. Yeah, millions and millions, tons of millions, hundreds of millions of people stuck their arm out and got the hokey pokey thingy dingy all over the world. And now we're finding out, that they lied. Yes. Remember that? You could get a hamburger if you get the hokey pokey thingy dingy. You'll get some free fries if you get the hokey pokey thingy dingy. We'll enter you into a lottery. You could win money if you get the hokey pokey thingy dingy. And so now we're finding out that, the FDA is basically going to force the pharmaceutical companies to put a black box warning on these hokey pokey thingy dingies. And it's not just one hokey pokey thingy dingy. The hepatitis B hokey pokey thingy dingy. Yeah, that's going to have a black box warning. Yeah. And, of course, the CV19 hokey pokey thingy dingy, that's all, they got to put a warning on that too. So did you fail the test? A lot of people failed the test. Yeah. Well, I got to tell you something, folks. For the past couple of years, there's been another test, and people are failing that one too. This other test has to do with what you're willing to accept as far as behavior by a humane species. Yeah, I'm referring to what's been going on over there in the Middle East, what's been going on in Gaza. Now, we've been watching. Yeah, we see what's going on. We see the carnage. And this is one of the reasons why they want to take, the cell phones away from all the younger folks because they've been watching TikTok and Instagram and X and Facebook. And it's just everywhere. People are pointing out the horrendous stuff that's been going on in Gaza. I mean, they have just been absolutely just leveling, decimating, razing the entire region, all because, of course, those little 10 and 12-year-olds and those little 8-year-old children, yeah, they're all terrorists. Yeah, they're all going to grow up and kill killed the blue folks. Yeah. So we sit back and we watch the carnage, and we see it all happening, and we turn on the TV and watch the football game. Okay? So are we passing the test? I don't think so. So this is why I just wanted to raise that question. People have to realize that what's been going on for the past over 2 years now, and the people here in this country have been witnessing this and are too afraid to speak up and say, hey, this isn't right. We shouldn't be doing this. We shouldn't be allowing our money to go over to another country so that they can absolutely annihilate an entire people.
Oh, you're an anti-Semite. That's what you are.
No, I'm a humanitarian. I don't care what your religion is. I don't care what color you are. I don't care if you're white, black, red, brown, yellow. I don't care. I don't care if you're Christian, Muslim, Jew. I don't care if you're Buddhist. I don't care. You don't do this to human beings. You just don't. But,
oh, you're an anti-Semite.
Shut up and sit down. If you still think that anybody speaking out against carnage and the annihilation of an entire people, if you think that that's some sort of, anti-Semitism, raise your hand and slap yourself with it. They've got everybody just kowtowed. You can't speak up against that other country. No. You can't do that. If you dare say anything whatsoever that implicates this other country as, being guilty of doing something bad, well, guess what? Then you must be an anti-Semite. But you know what? That term has been used over and over and over ad nauseum. And unfortunately, a lot of people fall for it. They just, they are too afraid to say anything because you might be called a bad name. As a matter of fact, let me see. I think this was on PBS. I forget what TV station this was on, but there was an interview going on with Shulamit Aloni. She is a former Israeli minister, and she basically talks about what this term, anti-Semitism, is about. Okay,
often
here it is.
When there is dissent expressed in the United States against policies of the Israeli government, people here are called anti-Semitic. What is your response?
Okay, here's her response. Now, this is standard operating procedure across the board. If you say anything bad about Blue State, this is what they do.
Do that as an Israeli Jew.
Well, it's a trick. We always use it. When from Europe somebody is criticizing Israel, then we bring up the Holocaust. When in this country people are criticizing Israel, then they are anti-Semitic. And the organization is strong and has a lot of money, and the ties between Israel and the American Jewish establishment are very strong, and they are strong in this country. As you know, they have power, which it's okay. They are talented people, and they have power, money, and media, and other things. And their attitude is Israel, my country, right or wrong, the identification. And they are not ready to hear criticism. And it's very easy to blame people who criticize certain acts of the Israeli government as anti-Semitics, and to bring up the Holocaust and the suffering of the Jewish people, and that justify everything we do to the Palestinians.
Mm-hmm.
Often.
Yep. Again, and that was on Democracy Now!, and the interviewer, of course, was Amy Goodman. And you just heard from Shulamit Aloni. She's a former Israeli minister, admitting that they basically weaponized the term anti-Semitism. If you say anything, that's the first thing they do. The Holocaust, we're the victims, October 7th. They bring up everything and anything that they can to basically deflect any criticism whatsoever, because if you say anything critical, you are an anti-Semite. And we've talked about that. Anyway, I wanted to share that with you because this is, like I said, this is standard operating procedure, and we're seeing it across the board. And as a matter of fact, Kim Iverson, unfortunately, she's going to be labeled because she's pointing out the following. Listen to this. Come on, let's get that low to low.
There was a Hanukkah event at the White House where Trump pretty much admitted to doing anything and everything Israel wanted. He had Miriam Adelson up on the stage. She's given him more money than anybody for his campaign, $250 million. She's the one who wants him to do all of these various things for Israel that he keeps doing. She offered him $250 million to run again and potentially be a third-term president. She says Alan Dershowitz and her have talked and that it seems to be possible.
I met Alan Dershowitz, and he said the legal thing about 4 more years, and I said, Alan, I agree with you, so we can do it. Think about it.
She said, think about it, I'll give you another $250.
The crowd chanting a very pathetic 4 more years, 4 more years. When I see this, the first thing I think is, were Democrats right about everything they said about him in 2016? They had Trump derangement syndrome. They sounded like they were insane. They had lost their marbles. And they kept saying things like, oh, Trump, he's going to be a dictator. He's never going to leave the presidency. And we thought, you guys are totally off your rockers. And then here we see this. The Trump administration just continues to prove them right. And here he is, Miriam Adelson and Alan Dershowitz. Miriam Adelson is very, very powerful. She's got a lot of money. Alan Dershowitz, constitutional attorney. Both of them extreme Zionists. Alan Dershowitz on this very show admitted to working for the state of Israel longer than I've been alive.
I've been working for the state of Israel since before you were born.
And here they are wanting Trump to run again for a third term, saying that he could really do it. He is so obviously in the pocket of Israel, doing everything for a foreign government, not doing what he said he was going to do by making America great again. We're not seeing that at all. He's basically admitting and rubbing in our faces that he's bought off by Israel. This is actually treason. It's actually treason. I'm sorry, but I do actually think that's the definition of treason, for an American president to be working for a foreign government.
This is the first time that I've ever brought up notes. I brought this up. You know why? I've done so much for Israel that I have to read. Look at it. I got like pages. And I don't want to leave anything out.
Treason. This is where we're at with this country at this juncture. It's being rubbed in our face. The American president standing there, gleefully talking about money he's accepted from ultra-Zionist Miriam Adelson and talking about how much he's done for the state of Israel. He's basically worked for the state of Israel, one of the most shameful presidents. I don't know what else to call this but treason. I really don't. I think that's what this is. I think this is an act of war against the American people. And we need to root out every single last treasonous traitor in our government.
Okay, let's think about this for a moment, okay? We know that we are sending billions and billions and billions of dollars overseas to support the blue state over there. And you know what? That blue state, in turn, sends millions and millions back to this country in the form of lobbying. Okay, so this is how you have all your elected officials bought and paid for to support the blue state. And again, you can walk through the halls of Congress, and every member of Congress and the Senate outside the door to their office, they're holding up, they got a flag representing a different country. Now, wait a second. God forbid you should say America first, because we all know what happens when you say that to some of the congressmen, and I've got an audio clip about that. We've covered that in the past. But the point is that we send all these billions of dollars over there, and of course they use it for their own purposes, but a portion of that goes back to go into the pockets of the folks that vote to send the money over to Blue State. And what do they use that money for? Okay, so I got to ask that that singular question. Anyway, there's a woman who posted the following, and this makes just too much sense. Listen to this.
Benefits that Israeli residents get that Americans do not, all while the U.S. sends Israel $3.8 billion in funding each year. 1. Universal health care. Every Israeli citizen/resident is legally entitled to health coverage.
Do you get health coverage? No, you don't.
2. Caps on out-of-pocket medical costs. Annual out-of-pocket expenses are capped based on income and age. 3. Do you
get that? No, I don't think so.
Not, all while the U.S. sends Israel $3.8 billion in funding each year. 1. Universal health care. Every Israeli citizen/resident is legally entitled to health coverage. 2. Caps on out-of-pocket medical costs. Annual out-of-pocket expenses are capped based on income and age. 3. Monthly child allowance.
Oh, do you get monthly child allowance? Oh, no.
Israeli families receive a monthly payment per child from the government.
Okay, and who pays for that? Figure it out, folks.
4. paid parental leave.
Do you get paid parental leave?
Paid maternity leave is on average 15 weeks guaranteed. Mandatory paid sick leave, mandatory pension contributions, strong employee protections, lower tuition for higher education, universal dental coverage for children, subsidized public transportation.
Okay, now she sped that up on purpose. She just went through a whole bunch of different lists here, and I suppose on the post you could slow it down. But it's just one benefit after another, after another, after another, after another that they all get, and we pay for.
And for youth, students, seniors, and soldiers often ride for free. IDF. MashaAllah, IDF. Mwah. Strong price controls on essential medicines, the national emergency healthcare response infrastructure, universal access to mental health services. Wouldn't it be nice, America? Yeah, America. Aywa. The list.
Yeah, they get mental health assistance. They get all kinds of assistance.
Goes on and on and on.
She's laughing because we're all suckers.
Anyway, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. My wish this year, just like every other year, is that one day we stop funding Israel and put that money into our own country and our own people.
You're an anti-Semite!
Nice to be Israeli, then we wouldn't have to wait so long.
Well, I'm sorry, but she is speaking the truth. And I got to tell you, folks, I don't understand why people don't understand. I don't get it. If you do any research whatsoever on what Zionism is, in fact, let me do this. I'm going to pull this up right here. I'm going to do a search. Let me put my microphone over here, and I'm going to search the Balfour, Balfour, Balfour Declaration. Okay, so do a search, and let's see what it says here. It says, and I quote from the document. Here. It says, this is from Lord Balfour. From Lord Balfour to Dear Lord Rothschild. And he says, I have much pleasure in conveying to you on behalf of His Majesty's government the following declaration of sympathy with Jewish Zionist aspirations, which has been submitted to and approved by the cabinet. Okay, His Majesty's government view with favor the establishment in Palestine of a national home for the Jewish people. Okay, again, we're talking about a Jewish Zionist state. All right, so what is Zionism and what is Judaism? Now, people are this conversation has been forced upon the American people ever since October 7th, because, of course, they claim that they are God's chosen people, and they misquote the Bible all the time. God will bless those who bless Israel and curse those who curse Israel. Yes, deliberate misquoting the Bible. But anyway, the point is that if you're supporting Zionism, and I'm talking specifically out there to the Christians out there, Christian Zionists, do you understand what Zionism is? You don't. Because the Jewish faith, the ones that are in charge, they see everybody who's not one of them as Goyim. Do a search on Goyim. Do some search, any research, for the love of God for the sake of your own progeny. Do some research, because if you're not part of them, you're Goyim. You are less than human. That's what they believe. And I've said it numerous times on this broadcast. It doesn't matter what I believe. And I'll tell you, this may sound callous, but it doesn't matter what you believe either. What matters is what they believe. And if they believe that you are less than a dog, you're in deep doo-doo. And I don't care, what evangelist minister you listen to or your pastor. If he's pushing Zionism, basically you are slow walking yourself into suicide, because it's going to come to you. Yes, it is. Sooner or later, you're next. That's right. Listen up. Here we go.
Zionist Christians that are so afraid of their Muslim brothers and sisters. Guess what? You guys should start looking at what's happening to Gaza, because you're next.
You're next.
We're next. Mm-hmm. That's a testing ground. They're just testing on those people. But
okay, I'm going to pause that. Didn't I just say a few minutes ago that we are being tested? We were tested 5 years ago, and many millions of people failed the test. So they use that as a barometer. If people won't stand up for themselves against a forced hokey-pokey thingy-dingy, and we now know that the thing is deadly, and it's going to be the gift that keeps on coming for generations. I mean, we're talking global genocide. Okay, and the people who committed it are still walking free. I'll get to that in a minute. But this woman is absolutely right. And I'm telling you, folks, if you support Zionism, you're supporting your own demise.
It's coming for us too. Watch. You think they're your allies. Well, someone else let them come to their land, and look how that worked out for them. So in all this division they're creating, you're next, and they're allowed to be as evil as they want to be. Mm-hmm. And yeah, you should go look at what's happening. It's coming for us.
Yeah.
And you think we're following the same God, but I promise you, we're not.
No, we're not. Did you hear what she said? You think we're following the same God? And as a matter of fact, I'm going to pause that. I'm going to get back to that. Because, I played this yesterday, and I will play it again. Let me see if I can pull this up here.
I want to get into...
Whoa, there we go. Okay, let's put it over here. Oh, geez, that was awful loud. Okay, let's move it up here and play it from this point on. Now, again, this is James Wickstrom talking to Rabbi Abe Finkelstein. Now, you just heard this woman talking about, they serve another God. Okay, listen.
Nations, plural, of the tribes of Jacob, who were surnamed Israel. Actually, the con game that you have brought on to this country and the world from...
That's James Wickstrom asking the question of Abe Finkelstein. Listen to Finkelstein's response.
Many years, and it's been a good con. It's been a good con game. Is that you're allegedly God's chosen people. We are God's chosen people. It's just that most Jews don't like to admit it, but our God is Lucifer.
Bam! Kaboom! They say it in their own words. So this is why when this woman said the following...
We're following the same God, but I promise you, we're not.
No, we're not.
If you follow Jesus, it's not the same God that people are chosen people and promised land. No, God would give all of us. He loves all of us equally. He wouldn't promise one group of people land and tell them to go annihilate the people that already live there and take everything that they have.
That's Zionism right there. We're next. Bam. Posted on TikTok. She's right. So for those of you who consistently and repeatedly are goose-stepping along with the pro-Zionist movement, you don't realize what you're doing. And again, Zionism, it's not hard to understand. When the Balfour Declaration was drawn up, and again, it refers to the Jewish Zionist state. Okay, Zionism is exclusionary. If you're not one of them, then you are less than human. Now again, Zionism means that, if we have the Zionist United States of America, we could take a particular state and turn it into an ethno territory. Okay, let's say you're going to take the South Dakota, and we're going to turn that into the Protestant state of South Dakota. If you're Protestant, you get to go to South Dakota, and you get to move into anybody's house who's not Protestant, and you get to throw them out. Say, get out, leave everything behind, because it's all mine now. And if you don't get out, they get to annihilate you. That's what Zionism is. Prove me wrong. Anybody, as a matter of fact, open up the phone lines. Has anybody got a differing opinion? I'd love to hear it. 215-867-8255. 215-867-8255. I'm going to take a quick break here. Get More Tank will save you money every month on gas. Get More Tank is a tablet with active ingredients that adds big mileage to every tank. Made in America, the Get More Tank formula is used by trucking companies and heavy industry. Now the Get More Tank formula is available to you. Get More Tank works in any gas or diesel engine, cleans your engine, lowers emissions, and you'll feel improved engine performance every time you step on the gas. Get More Tank works for cars, trucks, boats, motorcycles, four-wheelers, mowers, and blowers. Hey, if you got an engine, then Get More Tank. Contractors, electricians, plumbers, painters, and lawn service companies, Get More Tank will save you money and extend the life of your engines. If you're an owner-operator running your big rig around the town or across the country, Get More Tank will save you money too. If you're a farmer, all of your equipment can use Get More Tank. A 5-pack on sale at GetMoreTank.com for just $22.22 plus shipping. Use the promo code REDPILL101 and get 10% off. Save your money, save your engine, save the earth at GetMoreTank.com. Get More Tank is EPA registered, doesn't void warranties, results vary.
And you can get More Tank by visiting our website, TheWTFReports.com. Click on the sponsors page, and there's a window there where you can find out all the specifications and details about how and why Get More Tank is good stuff for your vehicle. You're going to see improved gas mileage and improved engine performance, and your engine runs cleaner. I mean, this is a no-brainer. It's a win-win situation. If you haven't tried it, I don't know what you're waiting for. So go to our website, click on the sponsors page, and Get More Tank. It's only $20. You'll get 5 tablets, and I promise you, by the time you've gone through those 5 tanks of gas, you will see a major difference. It's your vehicle. When you hit the gas, it goes. And it runs cleaner. And like I said, you're going to see anywhere between 15 and 20% better mileage over a period of time, which is money in your pocket. That means one purchase pays for itself. After that, it's, you're saving money. If you're getting 20% better mileage and you get 5 tablets, that means after the 5 tablets, the 5th tank is free. So do the math. This is win-win, folks. Go to our website, TheWTFReports.com, and get more tank. All right. All right, once again, the phone number here is 215-867-8255. If you have a differing opinion on what Zionism is, if you think Zionism is a good thing, I want to hear from you. Please give me your explanation. And if you agree with me, that's fine. I want to hear from you too. Again, 215-867-8255. Now, I've been talking about a test. Yeah. Okay, the American people and the people all over the world were tested 5 years ago when they rolled out the hokey-pokey thingy-dingy, and millions of people stuck out their arm, they just did it without any background research. And God forbid you should do any research. Remember the campaign they had all over the media? Don't do your own research. No, don't you do that. Listen to the experts. Trust the science. Trust the science. Don't you dare question anything. If you do, you're an anti-vaxxer. You're an evil person. You need to be locked up. You need to be held down and forcibly vaccinated. And don't think that didn't happen. And you got idiots out there like Howard Stern and all the others that were basically berating and condemning anybody who had the unmitigated gall and the audacity to say no. I'm not going to allow my body to be taken over by some corporate goons that want to sell you their product. And now we find out, oh my gosh, guess some of those conspiracy theorists were right. Yep. The FDA now has basically, they got pantsed, and now they have to admit it. Here's this issue about the black box warning.
So they forced, bribed, threatened, all for this to now come out. People lost their jobs. People couldn't see their loved ones while they were dying. They were told to trust the science, that it was safe, that it would make sure that they didn't get it and that nobody else would get it. And then everybody kept getting it, so then you had to get more of them. And now they are putting a black box warning, which is the strongest warning that can exist in the medical world, on the COVID jabs. And yet there is no mention of any kind of backlash. No one is being sued. No one is going to jail. We're supposed to just move along after this, after so many people have been negatively impacted and have lifelong health problems now because of this.
Absolutely. Now, with that, I have to ask this question. Now, this is common sense, and I realize common sense is banned, ridiculed, and just about illegal. But common sense tells me that if a bank robber goes into a bank and at gunpoint demands the teller, he filled my bag with money. And so he got a whole bag full of money. He runs out the front door and he starts running down the street and he's immediately arrested by the police. He's immediately, what? What did you say, Dave? Arrested. Arrested. Right there. Now, when you're caught red-handed, you committed a crime. You are arrested. Then they'll begin the investigation and they'll compile the evidence, but all the while you are under arrest. That's the way it works. But no, it doesn't work that way if you're in the government. No, it doesn't work that way if you head up some big pharmaceutical company. It doesn't work that way if you're in charge of some great big media platform and you're spreading propaganda. No, it doesn't work that way when you commit treason. Why aren't we seeing perp walks? And this is one of the reasons why the MAGA movement is having some real issues right now with Trump and with Bondi. Yeah, day one Bondi, Kash Patel. Dan Bongino now has said he's going to leave his position as assistant FBI director as of the first of the year. So I don't know how he's going to handle going back to his podcasting because obviously he got the memo. Yeah, right after he got into this position of assistant director. Oh, yeah, well, Epstein killed himself. Yeah, he did. Wait a minute, Danny boy. The past several years you were on your podcast going after the Epstein issue and Epstein didn't kill himself. Epstein didn't kill himself. And he gets into the position, Epstein killed himself. So I don't know what's going to happen now. He's probably going to have to sign an NDAA. If he dares speak out against certain individuals and certain issues, I'm sure there will be a price to pay. But the bottom line here is that, we are waiting for the perp walks. We are waiting to find out if we're ever going to see justice. And I tell you, I'm not holding my breath because we are being manipulated. And let me see, this is, the Epstein files are supposed to be released today. Yeah, this is the day that that they're going to release the files. I don't believe that as far as I could throw a Greyhound bus. Let's see, I forget who it was that said this. Listen to this.
Important that everyone remembers, as far as this Epstein file release goes, whatever the U.S. government is showing us just to placate the American people, these really aren't the Epstein files. The true Epstein files, the compromised material, the capture operation, that stuff is housed in a server room somewhere, in a bunker somewhere in Israel, because Jeffrey Epstein was an Israeli asset. Jeffrey Epstein was working on behalf of Israel to compromise Americans and other people.
And that's not not a conspiracy theory. Now, some folks are going to say, that's just a conspiracy. No, it's not. It's common flaming sense. We all know where that went. And Dan Bongino, again, he said, I have no idea. Some country in the Middle East. Oh, come on, Dan, you're not stupid. We know, he's a lot smarter than he lets on to be. But now we're supposed to just look the other way. Yeah. But anyway, carry on, sir.
From all around the world, and there's hundreds, if not thousands, of operatives just like Jeffrey Epstein who are still out there operating to this very day. The U.S. government
Here's
wasn't
a list of benefits that Israeli residents
with Jeffrey Epstein. Whatever information the U.S. has, this is stuff that fell through the cracks. This is stuff that was gleaned during investigations. This is stuff that just hasn't been redacted, hasn't been burnt. It's just their scraps. And so Jeffrey Epstein, this guy was an Israeli asset. The real Epstein files, those are in Israel somewhere, and we're not going to see them.
No, we're not. I don't believe we're going to see them. And if we do get them, they're going to be very heavily redacted. I don't know. It's so frustrating. It is so flaming frustrating. Anyway, again, I'm going to throw out the phone number here. If you think I'm out to lunch, if you think I'm some sort of a wacko or a conspiracy theorist, or, I want to hear from you. 215-867-8255. That's the number here. I'll put you right on the air. No hesitation whatsoever. But there was another issue here. That, let me see. Where is it? Oh, yes. Brian Still. Yeah, he's a member of Congress. And he's been receiving AIPAC money. And, people are noticing. They are screaming bloody murder. So here's a town hall meeting that Brian Still was holding. And I forget how much money he's been given. I'll check on that. But, he went to a town hall meeting, and this is what the people were screaming. You guys screaming, do you have a heart? 2 million people are starving. Do you have a heart? He got $130,303 from AIPAC. Chump change to some people.
Bring us on, Nancy.
I want to have you address the question that was shouted about the starving children in Gaza.
Again, this is a test. America's been sitting and watching this happening, allowing Israel to do what they're doing, and we continue to send them billions of dollars because the NDAA was just signed by President Trump, and they're getting more money. Yep.
Israel has a right to defend itself.
Oh, did you hear that? That's his response. Yeah, they're starving children. How do you address that? Israel has a right to defend itself. Oh, my God. It's like a mantra. Listen to them boo.
It's genocide! You believe in genocide?
I am so disappointed. I am so disappointed in how you represent us.
I don't think you're the right fit for us anymore.
It's time to go.
You just don't relate to most of the places anymore, and you got to know when to step down. I think it's time.
Yeah, you just don't relate to us anymore, and it's time for you to step down. This is going on across the board. And thank you, folks, for standing up. Because you're demonstrating that you have the testicular fortitude to do so. And again, I'm going to keep on saying it. We are being tested. We've been tested for the past 2 years. How much are you willing to put up with? How much carnage are you willing to financially back? When do you stand up and say no? Now, I realize you're dealing with a huge monster that's very well funded, and it's got its tentacles wrapped around many, many, many parts of our institutions in our country. And again, I ask you folks, whoa, okay, hold on a second here. Okay, there we go. Caller, you're on the air. Hold on, just want to finish this thought. How many people out there have got the testicular fortitude to stand up and say no to this? Because we see the tentacles are wrapped around every institution, and we were just talking about the hokey-pokey thingy-dingy and the fact that the FDA is going to force the black box warning onto these hokey-pokey thingy-dingies, and yet the people who manufacture the hokey-pokey thingy-dingies, which we know are killing people by the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, they're still allowed to walk free. Where are the perp walks? And I'm sorry to be pumped up a little bit, but I mean, I don't understand why people don't understand. Caller, thank you for letting me rant on for a second there. Who are you and where are you calling from? And what gives you the right to call me today?
Well, Dave, it's good to finally talk to you. I've been listening to you for, I don't know, 25 years.
Oh, my gosh.
And,
wait. Who are you? Where are you calling from?
Oh, so I'm Rick, and I'm calling from Tasmania.
Okay, you're a first-time caller, aren't you?
Yeah, I never called you before.
Welcome
I agree
aboard.
with about half of what you say, and I strongly disagree with about the other half of what you say.
Okay, well, yeah, let's do it. What is it? What do you agree with? What do you disagree with? I love open debate.
Okay, well, and I used to listen to Joyce Riley, too, and I loved her Friday song that she closed on. You remember what that was? The Yahweh song.
Oh, okay. Is it my Yahweh song or was it somebody else's Yahweh song?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think it was yours. But
probably not, because after I was purged from the Power Hour, everything was wiped clean that I was ever even associated with it. She took everything down.
Yeah. It's like you were such a good part of the show, way back then, and then suddenly you were out.
Well, we had a parting of ways. My feeling is that she had lost sight of our purpose, of the goal of helping the veterans. And it was, because, let's face it, the Power Hour, we were doing very well. We had the Power Mall. We had, we had a huge footprint. We are on AM, FM stations. We were giving Alex Jones a run for his money. And, and we were making good money.
Yeah, you were huge. Yeah, hugely successful. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, that's what happened. She got married to the money. She loves shopping, and I said, wait a second, this isn't why we're here. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to sidetrack. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I am a Christian conservative, and I do like to see the perp walks. And I if you follow me on Facebook, you'll see I blast the administration, and I'm really worried about, say, Wiles and Dan Bongino and Kash Patel and who is it? Bondi. Because they really dropped the ball. And so did Trump. Trump's I really like Trump, but his biggest mistake ever was to say that there is no Epstein list. And he said it was a manufactured idea from the Democrats, which is absolutely insane.
Yeah, he said it was a hoax.
What's that?
He said it was a hoax.
Yeah, which is absolutely totally retarded, because the videos, and there's thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of videos of very powerful people, judges, politicians, Hollywood actors, in very compromised positions with underage kids, abusing them. And that's your list.
Yeah.
So it's not manufactured by any Democrat. It's a record of videos of pedophiles abusing children.
Yeah.
And Pam Bondi said, these videos are too graphic, we can't release them. That's your list, Pam Bondi.
Horse hockey.
Well, yeah, so don't tell me there is no list and it's a hoax. That is totally insane.
Mm-hmm.
So
what is it? What is it you disagree with me about? I'd love to hear it. Let's get into it.
Well, I went to Israel in 1992.
Okay.
And so look, I know. Look, I really respect you a lot, and to me, you're just like a little kid that's a little got just needs a little bit more guidance on some facts, because your facts are wrong. There is no genocide in Gaza. So if you go look at when wait. Before we cleared out in Iraq.
Before we go any further, what is your definition of genocide? Because some people are saying it's not genocide unless you're using gas chambers. So, tell me, what is your...
So genocide is the purging of an ethnic society within a nation. And
isn't that what's happening? Isn't that what's happening?
Town that's in the north of Iraq that the Americans helped the Iraqis to clear out, that ISIS had full control over. Do you remember the name of that town? It's here. What was it called? Anyway, so there's this town in northern Iraq, and I know the numbers, right? So they had a similar population as Gaza, something like 2 million people, and the amount of civilian casualties, some say it ranged up to around 5,000 on the low end and up to 20,000 on the high end. And ISIS had buried themselves in the city, and it was really hard to rout them out, and they had to sort of, clear out the street by street, and it took about 10 months or so for them to clear out the town. So if you want to see a direct comparison, no one accused Americans of committing genocide there, even though at a minimum 5,000, and really the number is about 20,000. I crunched the numbers on it.
Well, wouldn't
if you look at the facts of Gaza, the fact is that Gaza, they killed 65,000. Now, Trump said 55,000, but say on the high side, it looks like they killed about 65,000 in total. But I think even if you looked at 100,000 and you say, 55,000 and 100,000 is on the high side. And if you looked at on the high side, that a total of 100,000 were killed and 55,000 were ISIS fighters. And then say, that leaves, say, 45,000 that were, say, civilian casualties. Then that is less than 1 to 1.
Well, wait. Are we talking a numbers game? I mean, what is the number that has to be able to qualify as a genocide? Is it 50,000, 100,000, 500,000?
Okay, David. Casualties happen in every war. Do you know one war that never had any casualties?
Yeah, but I mean, if you're talking about a war, that's when you have one group against another and they're active. I mean, the Palestinians don't have an army.
Tell me one war that there were 0 casualties.
Is it a war?
Casualties.
Wait a minute. Is it a war? Let's first of all establish what is war. They don't have tanks. They don't have an air force. They don't have a navy. They don't have any of that. They have a resistance group that's been resisting the oppression since 1948.
It's such a retarded position that you're taking, because look at this. They've calculated that it took 500,000 hours to put in the miles and miles and miles of underground tunnels. So these people who you say are completely unarmed,
they say completely unarmed.
Billions of dollars. They spend billions of dollars building these underground tunnels because they were going to entice the IDF to come in and attack Gaza, because otherwise, why would you build the tunnels underground? Why? They knew they were going to bring in. They knew they were going to bring in the IDF.
That's a no-brainer.
They did it to themselves. They did it to themselves. Hamas did it.
Okay, well,
David, and you don't understand that. They purposely slaughtered Israelis. They purposely slaughtered them so that the IDF would come into Gaza and they would kill tens of thousands of IDF soldiers. That was their plan.
Okay, calm down for a second. Take a breath. Okay, now you just said that they did it. Okay, are you referring to the October 7th attack?
Hamas.
Wait.
Hamas built the tunnels.
Okay. I'm not denying
Billions of dollars of tunnels were built underground in Gaza so that they could wipe out the IDF.
There are tunnels all over the Middle East, not just in Gaza.
No, there isn't. Don't give me the bullshit. There isn't.
Calm down.
You got to stick with the facts, Dave. And you're not sticking with any facts. The fact is that the Hamas enticed Israel to attack them, particularly the IDF, so that they could wipe out the IDF.
Okay.
And so that their plan to wipe out the IDF was to have these underground tunnels, and not just 1 or 2 kilometers of underground tunnels, like thousands of kilometers of underground. I don't know how many kilometers they had, but they were everywhere you went under Gaza. There were tunnels so that they could fight the IDF.
I'm not denying that. I'm not denying that at all.
Okay.
I never did.
Are not innocent people.
Okay.
And I lived in Israel, and I have listened to all this. I'm like a citizen journalist. And I know all the facts. Now, I know people that went in there, and these are journalists. And you probably know one of the journalists that I referred to, which is he works for CBN. His name is Chuck Holton. Well, he went into Gaza, and he interviews the IDF soldiers and the people on the ground. Mm-hmm. And I actually saw Gazans say that they liked and appreciated what the IDF was doing, because they were liberating Gaza from the control of Hamas, which is, they have a stranglehold since 2005. They had seized control after Ariel Sharon had ordered Israel out of Gaza. And by the way, Israel was in Gaza for thousands of years. So it was never a Palestinian a strong stranglehold where they controlled the whole thing. There was always Israelis living there.
Mm-hmm.
Always.
Yeah. There were always Jews, there were always Muslims, and always Christians.
Orders them out. And then Hamas, within 1 year, they had elections and they seized control, and then they had no more elections, because if they did, they just killed the opposition. The opposition was a PLO and maybe a couple other political factions, which they killed.
Okay.
There was no opposition, and they canceled elections. That is not, they're a bunch of terrorists. And anybody who's pro-Palestinian and is shouting "river to the sea," they don't even know what they're talking about.
Okay. Whoa, slow down.
You certainly don't.
Slow down.
I would love to take this off the call, because for me to sort out your errors would take like 2 or 3 hours.
Okay. Take a breath. Okay, my turn. You were on the soapbox for a while. Okay, my turn. Okay, let me ask you something. Do you believe that the October 7th attack was done as they say it was? Do you believe the October 7th narrative? Do you? Yes or no?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so you believe? Okay, so you believe? Okay,
I'm not saying that the IDF, didn't purposely. Like, there's 2 generals in particular that should be hung from their necks for the dereliction to ignore the signs that there was an attack that was looming, and they purposely pretended it wasn't going to happen.
Okay, well, yeah, because there was a stand-down order. There's no doubt about that. We've got IDF soldiers that had admitted that at 5:30 in the morning they were told to stand down and abandon their posts. They knew it. They knew it was coming. And then we also have the video footage of the Israeli helicopters firing on their own people. It's called the Hannibal Directive. Are you aware of the Hannibal?
No, yeah. I've looked into that, and there's zero evidence of that. You cannot show me one video that happens on. There's not one video that shows that. That's a total false rumor.
I've seen them. Don't tell me they don't exist.
Show me. Don't make fake arguments.
This is radio. This is radio. Okay, well, next time I see it, I'll have it posted on our website, and you can take a look with your own eyes. But the bottom line here is I don't trust the Israeli government as far as I can throw a government bus. I don't trust our own government. They have been lying to us for our entire lives. Our entire lives. So this is why I question everything. And common sense just tells me that it's not right for children to be sniped in the head and chest on certain days and in the crotch on other days. I mean, we've got so many doctors that are coming forward and explaining about that.
Let me tell you something. When I was living in the old city, I would purposely stand by the Israeli soldiers that were interrogating a young, teenage Palestinian so that they wouldn't hurt him, because they had a tendency to be rather brutal.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd stand there as a Westerner, and I'd watch them, and of course they couldn't do anything because I'm standing right there. So don't think I know what's going on. I know the atrocities that the IDF has done over the years, but under the Israeli government, over the last 75 years, the Palestinians have been flourishing. Their population has been growing. Now, for anybody to say that there's genocide in Israel, you have to have evidence. The evidence would be that the Palestinian population has been shrinking. And I traveled all over the West Bank. The trouble I had leaving Israel was that I had lived a lot of my time on the West Bank.
Mm-hmm.
I used to travel through Jericho.
Okay, I got to jump in here. I got to jump in here and tell you that unfortunately we're flat out running out of time. I've got about 30 seconds before the music starts. So, and that's not my fault. I'm not trying to cut you off, but I'm just letting you know we're coming to the end.
That's why I said we should talk off air, because there's a lot of stuff I could straighten you out on.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't mind you calling in. If I'm wrong about something, then pants me on the air. Bring it up.
And I totally respect you, because you generally you're very sincere. You're not insincere. So.
Well, I'm doing the best I can, given the circumstances. But anyway, hey, listen, thank you so much for the phone call. It's good to disagree once in a while. And, but we're living in a time when there's so much misinformation, disinformation, gaslighting, manipulation, and it just goes on and on. But, hey, thank you so much for calling. I appreciate it. All right, here we go.
Yeah, good day.
All right, thank you. Whoa.
We can't wait for you to start to get honest.
All right.
We can't wait for
Okay, folks, boy, that was good. I like getting somebody to call in once in a while so we can have a spirited discussion with different opinions. That's the way it works. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for another week of broadcasting here on the WTF Reports. If you're listening on Rumble or BitChute or Facebook or YouTube, please click like, share, subscribe, and above all else, visit our website and share it with everybody else. Word of mouth is the best advertising. That said, the weekend is upon us. We're going to have to see what other kind of horse hockey we're going to have to put up with for the next couple days. All right, that said, God bless you all. Have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe, stay free, and I'll see you on Monday.
You won't be trusted anymore.